You went over the mark. TikTok cut your sound off halfway through the video. They literally proved your point by cutting off the sound. Yeah. You know, prior, because the one they cut off the sound to, I duetted. I duetted my own video because I noticed after the original I put up that they were suppressing it, because you can easily tell when the video next to it that you just posted has hundreds of views, but then the one they're suppressing only has 9, then you know. So sometimes when that happens, I'll duet my own video. And so then it got the proper views, but then I saw your comment about they cut the sound. So I don't think I uploaded it to Rumble, so I don't believe the sound is cut there. My Rumble channel is Proud Deplorable on Rumble. But yeah, they proved that. But you know, the thing is that even when Trump did the executive order about free speech, I knew nothing was going to change, and not because of him. It's because it literally is Silicon Valley. It is. That's why when they were trying to claim this narrative when Biden was in that it was Biden, it wasn't. And I don't have any love for Biden. But it wasn't him. It was the military. Silicon Valley is literally an arm of the military-industrial complex because of all of the technology and everything. They control all the platforms. They control all of them. They control YouTube. The only one it seems like they don't seem to have any control over, which is why they've gone after it so hard and claimed it's a Chinese app, right, is TikTok. And it's weird because there's a reason average Americans stay on TikTok. It's because with all the other social medias, YouTube, Rumble, X, you put all them combined, they don't even come close to what what reach I'll get on TikTok. Like, that's how badly they suppress Americans. It's sick. It's sad. But it showed how much they lied about Biden. Biden had nothing to do. I mean, again, I'm not a fan of Biden, but he was not in any mental condition anyway to be making those calls. He had nothing to do with them silencing. That was the narrative they wanted to put out. Then JD goes to a foreign country and says, well, the last administration was suppressing speech. No, they weren't. It was literally the military-industrial complex. That's what people need to realize. Because what they did was they formed a public-private partnership. So what the government can't do, they get Silicon Valley to do for them. And then they claim, oh, well, this is our community guidelines. Because literally, if YouTube, Rumble, if they were independent, and well, X is independent, Elon is part of Silicon Valley, so he's part of that problem. But if they went with Trump's executive order, they would have changed they would have stopped suppressing people. Rumble still does it, so does YouTube. Nothing changed, nothing. So it just tells you how it had nothing to do with what administration is in. Which is why TikTok was a genius thing. Because if it wasn't for TikTok, you wouldn't know how suppressed you're being on all the other platforms that are American platforms. Because all the American platforms, I would say even Truth, I'm not sure, Truth, it's hard to tell, but because you don't know if it's gotten views or not. Or a lot of my stuff shows it doesn't get any views. And literally, no, they're doing it to Truth, too. And not because Trump, but because I thought I had went after Mike Johnson on Twitter because, you know, all these people that are Republicans have claimed that, oh, X is so great, it's free speech. It's pissed me off, especially as an American who's been being suppressed. It's like, you guys are real jerk-offs, by the way. You know, all you congressmen that supposedly represent us. Yeah. Us people, us peasants. So I went to Truth. I started looking. I'm like, is he on Truth? Like, really, you literally, like, you should be on Trump's platform. Because what they did too with X was a lot of it was to try to drown out Truth. It was. Now I think there's a game. I think that there's a reason that if people remember when Truth came out, there was this scattered, people couldn't just all go on at once. They had this, it was like this step-down system. Like the politicians got on first. Then it's like, I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason behind that, and I think it has to do with free speech. But because I think they want to catch these people. That's what I think it is. But anyway, so Mike Johnson's posting all over X, okay? So then I go and search Truth. This was just a couple months ago. And he's not on Truth, and I'm like, oh, you SOB, you know. You can't even create a profile on Truth. And there was a couple of them that weren't showing up. Then I was horrified. 2 days later, I opened the Truth app, and Mike Johnson, I see something on there, and so I click on his profile, and he's been on there since it started the platform. So big tech is doing that. Big tech, because I literally searched his name. So they're controlling all of these platforms. The only one it seems like they don't have full control of, and which is why they've gone after it for 4 years, is TikTok. So without TikTok, I mean, as annoying as it is that they cut my sound, we wouldn't know. I mean, we're so suppressed. We're so suppressed. We're like a third world country suppressed. And I think I think that's why it's all this Doge this, Doge that, Doge this. Yeah, when we start getting money from the government for all this US aid that's done all this stealing of money, when you send me a check, then I'll care all this about Elon and, praise the Elon. Yeah, there's not a check coming in my mail, okay? They are trying to distract people with that. I'm not saying their USAID isn't corrupt. Absolutely they are. But Trump's handling all that. Trump's handling it. What I'm trying to say, though, is that they're keeping everybody focused. What's Elon doing today? They even have great TikTokers. That one guy who I ended up blocking because I'm like, you turned into a shill. I'm not going to say his name, but he was he's like Doge and Trump. They're just, he was great. I thought, but it's like there's these people, that's all they want to get you to focus on, because then it's like our average Americans have forgotten that. Do you realize you're still being suppressed? So that, get the wheels going, what's happening, because if it was because of Biden, like X and all those people told you, if it was really the Biden administration, then when Trump wrote that executive order, then it shouldn't be still happening. So why is it still happening? Because it wasn't the Biden administration. It was the military-industrial complex. It's Silicon Valley. And I think that they mess with Truth Social, too. For whatever reason, they don't seem to be able to do much to TikTok. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure that we'll eventually know, because there's a clear difference in all these apps. So I think they're all going to get caught for it. But it's Silicon Valley. It wasn't Biden. And again, I don't have love for Biden, but it wasn't him that was calling up the social media and saying silence this and but that's Elon got, what's his name, Schellenberg out there, and everybody. I even praised him. And yet he sat there even just recently, and JD says it in a foreign country, the last administration was silencing our people. No, clearly it wasn't the last administration, because we're still being shadow banned, and it's your administration in. And it's not Trump doing it. It's just Trump knew. He knew what would happen. So it's like the American people have to see that and speak up about it. But instead, they keep wanting to draw your attention to Doge did this, Doge did that. Well, did Doge send you a check today? No, then I don't really care. I mean, fine, uncover all the fraud you want, but until it has some impact and something's done about it, I'll look at the media as I have 4 years ago, where you're just giving me a line of bullshit. How do I even know it's true? I mean, I'll believe it because of Trump, but I'm sure there's a bunch they're not telling us. They just don't want, they want average Americans to forget that you're still being silenced. They want you to forget about it. And they're that good at distracting people. So, yeah. Well, it's too bad they silenced this. I would have expected more from TikTok, but you never know who's running the show on TikTok.